Hello, everyone, and welcome to Immigration Talk Show. This is Daily Immigration Dose, and I'm Napasa. Thank you so much, each one of you, for joining us. And before we start off with today's Daily Immigration Dose session with none other than my co host Sam, I got this very important disclaimer. So, by watching our videos, you understand that the information shared, including user comments, is not professional advice. Use at your own risk. Our intention is never to offend, it's just a casual exchange of ideas. So, thank you so much, friends, for joining us. And in case you're not yet subscribed to our channel, please do not forget to subscribe. It is at Immigration Talk Show, that's our handle. And you can also hit the bell icon so that whenever we have discussions and webinars, you will be notified and you can join us so that you don't miss out on anything. So thank you once again for joining us here. So please feel free to join us, also participate in this conversation by commenting, but better even if you can join us on call. And the number to dial in is 425-436-6335, and the access code is 988-888. So this is there on the screen above. So in case you feel like you're confused about the number, do check it out and dial in. So now, please help me welcome my co-host Sam. Hi, Sam. How are you doing today? It's
Hi, Napas. I'm doing great and really excited for the session because it's another very important one and very interesting one as we are going to talk upon our Silicon Valley immigrants at risk and why tech firms are warning employees not to leave the US. So, till now, of course, we have been going with lots of different news and different topics, but this time we are going to cover about the Silicon Valley and that too, the hub for innovation. Whenever we talk about Silicon Valley, automatically Google, Microsoft, Tesla, over these big giants, I think, comes in our mind, and that too, great entrepreneurs are also there. And
yeah.
the irony is that so many entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley themselves are immigrants. So they are only warning, different people, their employees, that it can be quite risky this time, or they are only warning that not to leave the US this time. So, friends, stay tuned because in this session, we are going to have a discussion, I would say a detailed discussion about this topic. And of course, most of our viewers are on H-1B visa and they are working in the Silicon Valley. So, of course, it's very important session for you guys to know what's actually happening and what's going on and what are the take of government in this statement. So stay tuned and also don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Immigration Talk Show. And also, we are live on YouTube, available on LinkedIn, Facebook, X, and on Instagram as well. So, with that, before diving into the topic, let me go with the news first, as we always go with. So, friends, it's 1st of April, and yesterday it was the last day for the H-1B lottery results out. And let's see what happened after that. So currently, according to Times of India, we have been seeing the fiscal year 2026 H-1B visa lottery witnessed a significant decrease in registration. So this was quite expected also, but let's have a look at the stats. So according to reports, the total number of applicants was approximately 442,000, roughly the same as the fiscal year 2024. However, the number of valid registrations has already declined significantly in recent years, dropping from 758,994 in fiscal year 2024 to 4,000 to 470,342 in fiscal year 2025. So we can see a decrease of almost 38.6%, and that's quite a long about it. Also, major selection reforms for fiscal year 2026, USCIS has also continued its beneficiary-centric selection procedure as introduced in fiscal year 2025 to address concerns about the lottery system's integrity. This reform ensures that each unique beneficiary is entered into the selection process only once and not more than that, regardless of how many registrations are submitted on their behalf. By eliminating multiple entries per individual, the change aims to enhance fairness and also try to make the system a little more transparent and more fair. Also, if we talk about some key takeaways, then about selection process for fiscal year 2026, the selection rate rose to nearly 40%, up from approximately 30% in previous years, due to the beneficiary focused process and the reduction in total registration. So, this is quite a good news for everyone. Also, there was a higher fees because to cover administrative cost and defer frivolous submission, USCIS has significantly increased the H-1B registration fee by 20-50%, raising it from $10 to $215 per beneficiary. So if we also talk about the recent developments, then for denial rate for initial employment petitions saw a slight increase from 2.2% in fiscal year 2022 to 3.5% in fiscal year 2023. Approximately two-thirds of this uptick was linked to medium-sized companies, which submitted between 10 and 100 applications and were the primary contributors to the increase. Also, in contrast, large firms employing immigration counsel faced nearly zero denials, and this is a good thing, a sharp drop from the roughly 25% denial rate seen in 2018. The trend persisted into fiscal year 2024 when the initial employment petition denial rate was 2.5%. Interestingly, the denial rate for continuing employment petition fell to 1.8% in fiscal year 2024 from 12% in fiscal year 2018 and fiscal year 2019, marking a historic low. So this was the news from my end, and of course there are more to go, but I don't want to stretch more on this topic. So Napasa, why don't you go ahead and share us the other very important news?
Thank you so much, Sam. Yes, I have a news update, and this is about, new US entry rules under Trump's border crackdown and what travelers out there need to know. So, of course, in this dramatic shift under President Trump's renewed immigration crackdown, travelers, including legal immigrants and even US citizens, are facing heightened scrutiny at US borders. And reports indicate that extensive interrogations, device searches, and even visa re-evaluations are actually causing delays and unexpected detentions. So we'll just have to be super careful. And another very important thing is that the heightened visa scrutiny, tourist or even visitor visas or ESTA must ensure that their travel plans strictly align with visa intent. So even a LinkedIn status, listing open to work could actually flag concerns. So you can only imagine how careful you have to be. And especially with social media, I mean, I know it's very fun to scroll and share, but you need to be very careful what you're sharing because, you could give out a wrong idea of what your intention is. So, yes, coming back to the news that, with cases like British visitor Becky Burke detained for 19 days over no pay work in exchange, so highlighting the zero tolerance enforcement. And green card holders and citizens are not spared either. So, legal residents and even naturalized citizens are also reporting more border delays because even the 65-year-old citizen named Catherine was stopped twice despite decades of seamless travel. So, they cannot be denied re entry. Those refusing device searches could face prolonged detentions. So, yes, device searches are very much on the rise, and border officials now, manually and even forensically scan devices without a warrant, prompting privacy advocates to suggest turning off biometric features like Face ID before arrival. So be warned, disabling accounts can still lead to questions, and for visitors, refusal may result in denial of entry. And social media is definitely now under watch. Border officials are sourcing posts, messages, and even unrelated photos as potential red flags. So, one student visa holder was recently denied entry over old photos posing with firearms. And immigration attorneys warn that consistency and transparency in online presence are also crucial. So what we can all do, what can be done is legal experts, they are, advising all travelers to be truthful and be prepared because US citizens and green card holders can refuse device searches, and when you do so, you can expect delays as well. So, for visitors facing denial, it may be safer to withdraw the entry request rather than risk deportation proceedings. So, yes, with strict enforcement back in action, foreign travelers must be extra vigilant, prepare, stay informed, and think twice before hitting post on social media. Right, for now this is it, and yeah, over to you, Sam. We have to come back to our topic of discussion, but before we do so, friends, do not forget to subscribe to our channel. Our handle is at Immigration Talk Show, and you can check us out not just on YouTube but also on LinkedIn, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Do follow us, subscribe to us, connect with us, and hit that bell icon, so that you will be notified. And also, don't forget to dial in. You can just participate in this discussion today. I know it's very, very interesting, but what you can join us for, though today's discussion is about Silicon Valley immigrants at risk and why tech firms are warning employees not to leave the US. You could also tell us if you are a traveler yourself and if you've faced any different kind of experiences, at the airports while re-entering the US. It'll be good to know from your end.
That's
So,
right.
Sam.
Okay, so I think let's start today's session with, of course, the very basic understanding, like what's happening right now, as that will clear up our viewers, perception regarding the topic. So, friends, what's happening right now, as we have been going through a lot of news regarding, what Trump's administration has been implementing and putting up in the U.S. immigration policies. Some people are against, some people are favoring it. Of course, they have their own perspective. But for the Silicon Valley, there has been a lot of talk about the changes in this because it's impacting the tech workers in the US. So what's happening? The Trump administration has recently revoked visas and green cards from people, those who suspect, those who have suspect, regarding ties to Hamas or Hezbollah, and that has caused a lot of anxiety for those in the tech industry. So immigrant professionals are now in fear of losing their status because of sudden policy shifts, and they are really worried that maybe their green cards or their visa got, cancelled, or maybe their status will be taken away, or their green cards can be revoked. So this time they have this fear in their mind because, of course, recent incident also happened, and that too a quite disturbing one. And under Trump's administration, these new policies were introduced to make sure that foreign nationals, whosoever who are entering to the US, meet the visa requirements and should also contribute to the sectors that need skilled workers. So, according to the administration part, their main agenda is to make sure that there's no harm to the national security, right? And of course, if they are inviting the immigrants, if they are allowing the immigrants to come and work in the US and that too also to live in the US, then there shouldn't be any, harm from their end to the American people. And that's what the Trump's administration is all about. And that is why, Trump's administration says that they are not against the H-1B visa workers, of course not. They want to have more and more H-1B workers because, of course, if we are going to have more and more conversation in this topic, we are going to share the stats also, how many companies in the Silicon Valley, they are hiring or they are registering the H-1B visa applicants. So that will show, friends, that with the stats that, of course, US is not against the H-1B workers. They are in favor, but it's more about the national security this time. And of course, the policies are being a little stricter. There are quite challenges, but with those challenges also there are certain opportunities. And also, I think those policies or those new rules are quite important to make the system a bit fairer one and to make the system a bit transparent one. But similarly, as the rules are also implementing and the challenges are also increasing, and that is why the tech firms, the employers in the Silicon Valley, they are also developing little anxiety, and they are also having this nervousness for their employees that what their future will be. They're little concerned that what if their, green cards will be revoked, or what if their status will be taken away. So this include visa revocations for certain individuals. That was a move aimed at protecting the country's interest and also the national security. While these changes have obviously sparked a lot of debates, and a very, I would say, a controversial issue has also been there. While some workers have expressed concerns, but the goal is to ensure that immigration policies support the nation's long-term needs. The uncertainty about the future of immigration policies is making tech companies advise their employees to be careful if they want to travel outside the US. Of course, friend, this time also, everybody is saying, the attorneys, the tech firms, the leaders, everyone is saying it's better not to go outside the US, because if you go outside the US, then of course there will be some issues regarding your status, or there will be more checks, and the process will become more difficult for you. So it's better not to travel here and there and be wherever you are. Despite these worries, but still, it's clear that the government is still focusing on bringing in the skilled workers and those who can make a big impact in important areas like technology, which is a major part of the US company. And I think let's just stick to this first part, what's happening right now, as people are scared. And of course, the tech workers are also scared, and Silicon Valley immigrants are also thinking that they are at risk. But right now, I think the immigration policy is quite uncertain, so we can't just give, a simple, straight answer that due to, I mean, this is happening and this is not happening. Anything can happen. But of course, if you are like contributing to the US economy, and if you are, working as per your visa has asked for, then I think there's nothing to worry about, and you are completely safe in US. So yeah, I think that's all, Napasa, from my end. And anything else that you would like to add onto this conversation?
No, absolutely. I mean, yes, if you talk about the recent revocation of visas and even green card, it's definitely fear mongering. It's scaring people and making them unsure, even green card holders for that matter. So, yes, it's crazy if you look at, professionals also working in the US, they're all facing all these unexpected detentions, that too at airports, re-entry bans and even visa cancellation. So you can only imagine. I mean, even if you have a visa, it could be cancelled at the airport. So isn't that scary? So tech workers who have lived in the US for years also are facing all these sorts of problems, following immigration laws and contributing to the economy, and we are still facing heightened scrutiny. So um, that is there, but it's become so uncertain, as in, like, what is going to happen. Nobody can really say. If it's a bad day, you've had it. And it could be like you're having a good day, but probably the officer is in a mood. I mean, of course, they will have to have a proper reason, but it's not going to be easy. Interrogation is going to happen. They are going to ask you questions, and especially if anything looks suspicious, then you should have your answers. So it's best to not travel. And there are issues, certainly. I mean, Sam has already mentioned many of them. And, all these visa policies are actually really growing fear among tech workers. Because when you talk about immigrants, the tech industry has, always, they've had like a steady influx of high skilled foreign workers, and that means more immigrants from across the globe, right, from different parts
Mhm.
of the world coming into the US to work. And recent policy changes have actually created this fear among visa holders, you know, because there is no guarantee that current work permits will remain valid in the future. And yes, the concern, the main thing that is very, very disturbing is the element of uncertainty. People who were sure also have become unsure of what's going to happen. And many of them, being anxious has become kind of sort of normal, especially if you're anxious about your visa, about you being in the US, if it's all going to work out. And um, if we look back at Trump's first term, H-1B denial rates surged to nearly 30%, affecting thousands of qualified professionals. Although the rates improved under the Biden administration. Well, I would say, like, there are mixed notes for this, but what can we really do, visa holders, what can they really do to secure their status? And this is something that we should all discuss with our attorneys. I'm sure everybody has one, and even if you do not, it's best to be able to consult with one or join in with us, in our shows, where you can ask your questions to the attorney, as in how to be more safe, even though you have a visa and you may not feel that safe or secure. So what should you do to feel that way, or rather to really secure their status? So
That's right.
I mean, if you look at the Silicon Valley also, right, Sam,
Mhm.
there are so many people. You've already mentioned some tech giants, and Google, Microsoft, Uber, and even Nvidia. If you talk about graphics and everything, it's huge out there, and they really are very much reliant on immigrants, foreign workers from
Yeah,
across the globe, who are super intelligent at their field, superb at their field, and they need these creative and techie people, right? And the
right.
scene is, the debates which are happening right now, the changes that are happening, it's becoming like the question never goes whether one should, be able to continue to rely on foreign talent, immigrant talent, because if you look at it, it's become more like educating more. It's become like, should they be dependent on immigrant workers, or should they just continue to educate or train more American born engineers and tech professionals, rather than bringing in
Yeah.
foreign talent? So yes, I
That's
think
right.
that's one question. Sam, what do you think they should do, by the way?
See, honestly speaking, USA is a land of immigrants, and we can't imagine that USA, after maybe some years, there will be free of immigrants. Of course, that's not going to happen. And that too, when we talk about the H-1B workers, then I think more than 70% of the H-1B workers are in the Silicon Valley or in a big companies, right? In Tesla or Google or so many big giants. So I think when they are working in the Silicon Valley, with the H-1B visa, then I think, of course, they have been working from so many years. So I think there shouldn't be a point of, question mark for their status, that whether their status is at risk. Yeah, of course, that can happen. That maybe their procedure may become little difficult, or maybe the way to enter the US, that can become little difficult. That can become little more competitive or more challenging. But talking about that, whether there will be no H-1B workers in the upcoming years, or whether the immigrants, we can't find in the upcoming years, I don't think that that's going to happen. And with that, also, let me tell you, friends, that of course, there's Elon Musk also, who's a tech leader, who also argued and said very clearly that we need the best minds in the world to stay competitive. So, initially we can see, not initially, but recently we have seen how Elon Musk and President Donald Trump had a great bond. So, this shows that, of course, if Elon Musk is very much, in favor of that, he needs best minds in the world to stay competitive, then automatically we can expect this from Trump's administration as well. And he also said that without immigrants, we will fall behind China in AI and innovation. So I think this is a big statement because for technology, for innovation, USA has a big competition with China. And doesn't matter how many H-1B workers, doesn't matter how many immigrants, they want. They're definitely going to give a neck-to-neck competition to China in terms of AI and technology. And for that, of course, they need the H-1B workers. Without them, I don't think the Silicon Valley will, have their I would say, the strong base that they have right now. And that too, I think, Napasa, we also have the stats. Remember the one that we have shared? I mean, about to share. So I'm not able to find right now. Could you please let our viewers know the different companies, how many H-1B registrations, they have been getting from?
Okay, Sam, we can do that. Yes, if we look at Amazon, if fiscal year 2024, I'm talking about last year. So Amazon had 14,764.
Wow.
Infosys, it says 8,185. Cognizant, 7,949. Then Tata Group has 7,721, Google
Hmm.
5,369, and then Meta, if you talk about Facebook, is 4,847, Microsoft 4,725, and Apple 3,880. So these were, visa approvals for major tech companies last year,
Yeah,
fiscal year 2024. So this was
that's
H-1B
right.
visa. You can only imagine.
Mhm. And we can see the number is quite good. It's nothing that the less
Yeah.
H-1B workers are there, and that too with the great companies. So this shows that, the companies are favoring the H-1B workers, and of course, everybody wants them to go ahead and work together to make the USA a great one. But Nepasa also, there are some real life impact on immigrant stories that I would like to share on. Because if we are seeing at the positive side, then the other side should also be seen. That there was a H-1B visa holder from India whose name was Raj. So he has been working at a top company for 7 years, and his employer started his green card process 5 years ago. But that process is still pending. And their employers have said to Raj this time that if he leaves the US right now, then he might not be able to return because his visa renewal could be denied. So this is one case that the tech firm and the main employer has been saying that to his employee that it's better not to go out from the US. And also the other H-1B applicant, I mean the worker is also there, Sarah, who is a software engineer from Canada. So she got her H-1B visa in 2023 and tried to visit to the Canada to have a family time this summer. But what happened that now her company told her that if you leave, there's a risk you can't come back. So she canceled her trip because she doesn't want to lose her job. So there are some cases also that we have been seeing, and there are some H-1B workers also who are being told that it's better not to go out from the US this time because maybe their visa can be taken away or they can lose their job. So not exactly know why is this happening, but this is what it's happening, and it's important for our viewers to let these stories also to know for them. And friends, it's also important, to like, share, and subscribe to our channel to stay updated with these very important shows and also important news updates, as we always go with the news updates first. And make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Our handle is at Immigration Talk Show. So yes, Napasa, anything else that you would like to add into the conversation?
Yes, thank you so much, Sam, for those updates. And really, I mean, H-1B visa dependency in Silicon Valley is huge. Like we've already seen how dependent they've been last year, fiscal year 2024. And now, there is this what can happen. I mean, it's definitely giving out mixed signals, the Trump administration. But this is with regard to high skilled immigration because there was like remember there was a news that was like end to H-1B program as well, but then
Yeah.
it was acknowledged that the importance of skilled workers is really really a priority in the US as well. So now it remains unclear if the fear is what's going to happen, and I think we'll just have to wait and watch. But let's check out some of the questions from Fawad. And friends out there, please do not forget to subscribe to us. It is at Immigration Talk Show. Check us out and watch out our space because there's so much information and the latest news updates that you do not want to miss out on. So, yes, that said, Fawad, hi. Thank you so much for joining us on YouTube. And Fawad is saying major companies like Amazon, Google, Microsoft are warning their immigrant employees that travel could risk re entry. And for many, this sudden uncertainty is putting everything on pause. That is so true, especially buying a home. So, this isn't just a tech or immigration issue. And law firms say rejection rates for high skilled visas may increase amid this administration, Trump's administration, because there has been some restrictive stance on immigration, and reducing visas for these workers could hurt the US tech. That is what Fawad is saying. And US tech industries competitive standing, that is, experts say, because the CEOs of Google, Uber, and Nvidia are all immigrants. Exactly what we discussed, Fawad. Thank you so much for bringing this up and highlighting it once again. And we have discussed this already in our web show today in this a very interesting daily immigration dose. Thank you, folks, for joining in, especially Fawad for all these comments. And if possible, join us on call. The number is 425-436-6335. Access code is 988-888. So, yes, Sam, I think we have covered most of what the topic is, but definitely so much scrutiny, and we don't really know what's going to happen. The results are out for H-1B as well. For from all the discussions we've been having, most of the attorneys are have been saying that there are going to be a lot of RFEs because there are a lot of
Yeah,
changes, and many could be affected, will be affected. And we also heard, some other immigration attorneys saying that the vetting process is going to be a lot as well. So everybody will be sort of made not made to wait intentionally, but they've become so strict with all regulations that they will have to check each and everything very, very thoroughly before allowing you to enter the US. I mean,
yeah,
it's not a small thing anymore. If you want to enter the US, I mean, imagine, remember the news I was talking about? Your social media, your WhatsApp, everything is going to be checked. And if you say you cannot check my phone, you've had it. I mean,
then
you are
also,
definitely going to face detention, more questions. Who knows? They'll keep questioning you, and imagine the rest. I mean, if they take a lot of time questioning you, so suppose there are 10 more people after you, what's going to happen? So this is just an example. It's not 10, there are thousands. So
yeah,
I mean, the vetting process is definitely on. We can expect RFEs. And apart from that, now with all this, I mean, how many people will delete or will, I mean, deactivating is not an option anymore. If you have something to hide, maybe deleting, but it's also, I mean, it's not just. They are checking, scanning, just like that, but even
yeah,
forensics are used. So maybe you can say they do have good technology to be able to trace back what you have deleted as well. So careful.
that's right.
And I
That's
really
true.
hope that you have good intentions, especially when you think about coming to the US. And otherwise, it's best you don't even try.
That's right. And that's what everyone is saying. And with that, I think, Napasa, I would also like to make it a little more clear that why is the tech industry worried? So, if we also talk about this issue, this why it is so important for the tech industry, then of course Silicon Valley, if we talk about the basic like the Silicon Valley, then this has a long been a kind of say like hub for innovation, and also part of that success is due to a large number of immigrants who have played an instrumental role in building the tech sector. Because of those immigrants, of course, the sector wouldn't be this much. And the US has benefited tremendously, from the talent and the idea that has been brought up by the people from all over the world. In fact, the great thing is that it's a very, I would say this fact has to be there that more than half of these startups in the US, valued at over $1 billion, have immigrant founders. So this is a great thing, and this has to be there and this has to be pointed out because this shows that it's so important for the immigrants, and for the Silicon Valley itself, that immigrants are having a very crucial role in making Silicon Valley a great one. And that's a huge number and shows how integral immigrants are to US innovation. Also, the tech companies that we all know and use today, like Google, Microsoft, and Uber, of course, are led by immigrant CEOs who once came to the US with a dream. And, without much, I would say, without different things, Silicon Valley would not be the powerhouse that it is today if they wouldn't have come with a dream. So, and also let's not forget that the skills of foreign workers have been crucial to maintain the US global edge in fields like AI, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and software development also. So I think without immigrants, the Silicon Valley wouldn't be this Silicon Valley, I would say, because Silicon Valley has already been so many different companies, and that too has been established by different immigrant entrepreneurs. So this has to be considered, and this is a very important point that everyone should know and everyone should consider it. And yeah, I think that's all from my side. And anything else, Napasa, that you want to say about the Silicon Valley or anything about the tech firms? Please go ahead.
I would just probably read Shashi's comments. But before that,
Sure.
friends, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Our handle is at Immigration Talk Show. And yes, connect with us. We are not just on YouTube, but also on LinkedIn, Facebook, X, Instagram. Just check us out, follow us. And if you have questions, keep commenting. Otherwise, you can also WhatsApp me. My number is 408 You can leave me whatever questions you have there, and we will direct them to webinars where we have guest attorneys joining us, and you wouldn't want to miss out on updates or what they have to say about your questions, because I know this could be very crucial. You may have a lot of questions, you may be anxious, and just to have a sort of an answer, or know what's going on or what to expect, you may have a lot of questions. So please feel free. My phone number, where you can also WhatsApp me, is 408 You can also email me, and my email address is nipa@staffingly.com, and Sam is sam@staffingly.com. But I think it's best you WhatsApp me, because I'm more active in WhatsApp, especially when it comes to questions, so easier to direct them to the attorneys as well. So, yes, that's it, friends. Let's take up Shashi's comment. I'm on STEM OPT with H-1B approved on consular process. I have a job offer with other employer, and they filed H-1B change of employer and transfer with my consular I-797B to change of status. Okay. I am waiting for decision. What are the chances of RFE with this, as consular to employer change process with I-797B is in Starlight forward process? Okay, so I think Starlight forward process is good, right? It's a good update that the process is on, and if it is consular processing, I think it just takes how many days, I wonder. But I'm waiting for decision. What are the chances of RFE with this, as consular to employer exchange with I-797 is the straightforward process? Okay, this is the same thing. All right. So I think what we can do is, we can note down your question, and we could address them with one of the attorneys who are going to join us in tomorrow's show. And we do have attorney Prashanti Reddy, who's going to join us at 12 p.m. Eastern time. So do tune in. Shashi, I mean, you can join us again with your question, or I could, just address this question. Control, if you can take note of this question as well, it'll be very nice. So we will address this, and I will come up with with an answer for you, Shashi. Thank you so much for participating. But I wonder where you are, and if you could tell us where you're joining us from, it'll be very nice as well.
That's right.
Right. So that said, Shashi, do subscribe to our channel, hit that bell icon, so that when we have the discussion tomorrow, you will be notified and you'll be able to join us. And there you go. I think we yeah, that is it. We've taken Fawad and Shashi's questions. So, well, I think we'll just have to be more ready, more vigilant, and stay away from travel. I think that's the best thing to do for now. Just wait, let things settle, know what's going on, and there are changes every day. Waking up to changes is just that you may be as prepared before you fall asleep, but then maybe first thing you see when you wake up is another thing, there, boom, and what will you do? You can't be fully prepared all the time. So we'll just have to wait, especially with the administration coming up with new changes every time, and new news. So we'll just have to wait for things to settle in, all right? And save your travel plans for a little later in this year, maybe, or the coming year, I think, if that's okay. So, that said, I think this is it, friends. Once again, don't forget to subscribe to our channel at Immigration Talk Show. And we are going to be back again tomorrow with daily immigration dose at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So, don't forget to tune in tomorrow. And Sashi, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, do join us. We are going to have a webinar with Attorney Prashanthi Reddy from the Law Offices of Prashanthi Reddy, and we'll take up your question. Oh, we do have
Have
Robinson
Robinson's.
join us. So, Sam, would you like to take that?
Sure, why not? Okay, so let me take the Robinson question. And he's saying the challenges faced by H-1B visa holders in Silicon Valley, especially Indian nationals, are highlighted in a recent article by the Washington Post. These workers are repercu- grappling with the repercussions of widespread tech industry layoffs, exacerbated by per country caps on green cards. That's right. I think, Robinson, thank you so much for putting up that very important point. And of course, layoffs are happening right now, and we have been seeing, but we can't help with that right now, and we can't say anything like why it's happening, and it's so sad. But I think that's all. And Robinson, thank you so much for your comment. And I think it would be great if you could join us on the number that is given on the screen, and also let us know more about what you think about the topic and what is your status. Are you an H-1B worker or looking to be someone? Then I think, Napasa, that's all for today's episode, and we have already shared a lot of news about today's webinar. So, friends, make sure that experts are advising everyone to stay informed, and immigration laws and policies can change quickly anytime, and workers on visas need to be aware of any new rules or any new regulation is there. So one of the best steps to take is to consult with an immigration attorney, and who can really help you to ensure that all necessary documents are in order and can also guide you on how to prepare for any potential changes. Also, talking about tech companies, then of course they are telling their employees to be careful about traveling outside the US. And friends, make sure if your employers are saying, if they are warning, then please stick to their words and listen to what they are saying. Of course, they have more experience, and they know what's happening. So make sure that you listen to them until things become clearer. And of course, leaving the country and then trying to re-enter could be quite risky this time if the administration changes policies or increases scrutiny of visa holders. So yeah, I think that's all. And make sure to keep all your documents in order, stay vigilant, stay careful, and also keep sharing. I mean, I would say keep liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel. That is Immigration Talk Show. It's me, Sam, with my co-host Napasa. Will come daily on Daily Immigration Dose at 4 p.m. EDT to make sure our friends are informed and updated with the latest news that's happening in the world of immigration. So don't miss out. Also press the bell icon so that you get the news update. I mean, you get the update regarding our video or regarding our shows or live webinars that's happening. So thank you so much, everyone, and take care, good luck, and keep watching Immigration Talk Show.